En este su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde hermosa 1470 AM y les habla Lilia Galindo. Me encuentro con Michael Dutton, que es nuestro co-host los días miércoles. Tenemos también aquí a Ana Peña Santos, que nos está haciendo favor de ayudarnos con la traducción. Ella es coordinadora del distrito del programa de aprendiz de inglés y del programa migrante. Y ahora vamos a presentar a la doctora Jennifer Slater-Sanchez. Ella es directora de programas especiales y categóricos. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm
Good.
going to ask you when you respond, look at me there.
Okay.
Welcome. Michael, it's your turn for the first question.
Okay, very good. Well, Doctor, I know that you're in charge of categorical programs over at the district office. Mm-hmm. And for our listeners and our viewers, could you kind of explain what does categorical mean? What is that all about?
It is a very long title that I needs some explaining, that is for sure. So, categorical takes a couple of forms. We have money that comes from the federal government, mm-hmm. that is in the form of, say, Title I, Title II, Title III, Title IV. All the government funds from like I said, the federal government are called titles. Mm-hmm. But in the state of California, we have a local control funding formula, and that is my wheelhouse. And those funds are based on the number of students that we have in a school district. Mm-hmm. However, we get additional funding for our students that are English learners, low income, and foster youth. And that is what I do. We have to write a plan. It's called the LCAP. So mm-hmm. It's our local control accountability plan. And it's our opportunity to basically tell our story of why, what, how our programs operate, why they've been chosen in order to best meet the needs of our students. Ultimately, it's all about raising student achievement. That's what we want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what I work on day in and day out.
Okay.
La pregunta fue con nuestra nueva participante, la doctora Jennifer Slater-Sanchez. Ella es directora de categóricos en nuestro distrito. La pregunta fue, ¿qué significa eso, ser directora de categóricos, y qué significa categóricos? Ella explica que tenemos dos diferentes fondos. Dinero federal viene en lo que son títulos, se llaman título 1, 2, 3 y 4. Son diferentes fondos para nuestros servicios, para nuestros estudiantes. Ahora también están los fondos locales que se llama LCAP, que es el Plan de Control de Contabilidad de nuestro distrito. Ahora, el trabajo de la doctora Slater-Sanchez es ver estos fondos y crear un plan sobre cómo vamos a usar los fondos para nuestros estudiantes. Ella comenta de que nuestra meta a todo momento es subir el éxito de nuestros chicos, ofrecer los mejores servicios. Así que ella trabaja fuertemente en lo que es el LCAP y cómo vamos a planear, cómo vamos a presentar ese plan de contabilidad de todos los fondos que se están dando a los chicos. Una cosa más, el LCAP, el dinero que viene para LCAP se basa en la cantidad de estudiantes que están inscritos en las escuelas, así que es parte de la fórmula de cómo agarramos dinero.
Do you know, Doctor, the other day I was talking with somebody from other school district that he was telling me that one of the parents was complaining, oh, you just want my child at school because for the money that you receive, not for anything else. Could you explain us that when somebody don't come to the school affects not only that child, but affects all the community? Because then this is why we see a big difference between some rich districts that are in school districts that are in rich areas that they have very good things, and districts that are in poor areas. I believe that attendance has to do a lot with that.
Yeah, and the local control funding formula has really worked to level that out so that it's a level playing field. So it's not about Beverly Hills getting more money than, say, the Antelope Valley, but instead making sure that we are receiving the funds that we need for our students. I was a teacher before I ever did this job. I was a teacher, and then I was a teacher on special assignment. I was a school administrator, and then I do this job. So the teacher in me would say, it's not about just the money for kids coming to school. Kids don't learn unless they're in school. And so ultimately, the bottom line is we want kids in school because we want them to be there learning, engaging in the education, and getting all that they can get out of that school day, whether that be for their academic needs, their social emotional needs, or even their behavioral needs. So it's not just about the money, it's about educating the children and having them engaged in the school process.
But if everybody comes to school, you can have more money and you can provide better services.
That is true. That is true. We definitely want them there.
Mi pregunta. Miren, mi pregunta era el otro día platicando con el coordinador del Lancaster School District, me decía, el problema, me decía una de las mamás cuando asistió a las juntas, es que ustedes nomás quieren que venga mi hijo por el dinero que reciben. Y estamos explicando cómo no es el dinero. El dinero afecta porque cuando un niño no viene a la escuela, todos los demás niños pierden la proporción de dinero que debería llegar a la escuela. Y le decía yo, por eso se ve la diferencia entre comunidades pobres que no mandan todos los días a la escuela a los niños y las comunidades más ricas que los niños entienden perfectamente, los padres entienden que los niños tienen que estar ahí porque van a aprender mucho, pero además van a tener más recursos. Ahora sí, platícame qué nos corresponde.
La doctora Slater-Sanchez nos comenta de que el LCAP, el Plan de Contabilidad Local, trata de ayudar con esa idea de que las secciones más adineradas tengan mejores recursos y las secciones pobres tengan menos recursos. So, el LCAP trata de ayudar con eso y trata de cerrar esa diferencia. Pero ella sí comenta de que lo más importante es entender que si su hijo no va a la escuela y no está asistiendo a las clases, no está recibiendo su educación. So, no es tanto enfocarnos en el dinero que recibe una escuela, si su hijo viene o no a la clase, es entender que entre más ausencias hayan, entre más ausencia exista en el currículo de su hijo, menos aprendizaje existe. So, tenemos que saber de que si van a la escuela consistentemente, si están estudiando, si están haciendo sus tareas, están creciendo.
Exacto. Then if they don't go, do you know, I feel that if they are absent, then the following day they don't want to go because they were not yesterday. I don't want that the teacher is going to ask me of something that I don't know. Mm-hmm. Or they arrive late and they are worried all the class. Instead of being focused in learning, they are worried the teacher is going to ask me and I wasn't here. Mm-hmm. It's really a big problem for everybody. Tell us a little bit about what can we do to help them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for our students, school is their job until they're old enough to actually work. And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm late to work or I miss a day of work, I feel like I'm having to play catch up in order to get everything done that I need to, or what did I miss out on the day before? So it's really important that we encourage our students of going to school each day. I always believe that kids should be involved in something at school. So whether that be a club or that be a cheer team or an athletic, something like that, you know, it's important that our kids are engaged in the school process, that they're there for the school process, and just really take it all in until they do have to be on that adult end of life. But yeah, it's just like work. When you're late or you miss something, you're going to be playing catch up. And so that's important for them to be there each day.
Lilia pregunta cómo podemos ayudar a que nuestros chicos asistan y cómo enforzar de que es importante estar en clase. Y la doctora Slater-Sanchez comenta de que la escuela es técnicamente el trabajo de nuestros estudiantes. So, es su empleo, todos los días se levantan y van a la escuela y que nosotros como familia deberíamos enforzar la importancia de eso. Nosotros como adultos, si perdemos un día del trabajo, tal vez nos sentimos atrasados o que, otra cosa. So, ella explica de que los estudiantes deberían estar enfocados e involucrados en la escuela, donde ir a la escuela es algo positivo. Ella también comenta de que es importante que los chicos se involucren en algo, un club, un deporte, algo por el estilo para que tengan esa conexión con su escuela y quieran asistir consistentemente. Y nosotros como familia enfocarnos en apoyar esa idea de que es de todos los días, no hay opción de este día me quedo, este día no voy, todos los días asistir a sus clases.
Michael, can I add something to that? You know,
sure.
Part of our LCAP funding is funding things like Saturday school or even before or after school interventions. And so I would say communicate with your teachers, communicate with the school site. Things do happen. Our kids get sick. My daughter's going to be absent tomorrow because she's taking her driver's test, but communicate with the teachers and say, what do they need to do in order to make that up? Or in the instance of my child, again, she's going to be attending Saturday school this weekend in order to make up for what she misses tomorrow. So I would say take advantage of those opportunities. The flyers and the phone calls do come out from the school site. And so when those opportunities come up, and one thing that's interesting about Saturday school is it does make up for missed absences. So if your child has an absence, but they attend Saturday school, it's almost like a wash. So they will get that day of absence back as far as the student's attendance goes.
Ella comenta que nuestro distrito trabaja con el LCAP, que es el Plan de Contabilidad Local, en ofrecer servicios para ayudar con las ausencias. Si usted sabe que su hijo va a estar ausente algún día, ellos pueden ir el sábado y reponer esa ausencia. Si sus hijos asisten a la escuela de sábado, es como que limpian el record y esa ausencia se borra. Entonces sepan de que hay servicios disponibles, las escuelas mandan folletos, información y textos y todo eso para que usted sepa cuándo son los Saturday Schools, cuándo es la escuela de sábado y que su hijo asista. Y da el ejemplo ella que su hija mañana va a estar ausente dado a su examen de manejo, pero el sábado ella asistirá y así esa ausencia se borra.
Qué buena onda. Michael, it's your turn if you want, please.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to kind of give a different perspective in support of what was said about Saturday school, and that is that when students are at school, their presence generates income. If they're not in school, then that's income that doesn't come into the school. However, if the student is absent for some reason or another, they can come to Saturday school because the funding that would have been provided for them to be in regular school was not earned. They could come to Saturday and earn that back. So it fills in the holes of funding that were created by their absence. And so it's an excellent way for students to pick up and make up for what they lost when they were absent and put them right on track in terms of what they're supposed to be learning so that they can gather all the information necessary. Because if you miss school, you miss out. And it's important to be there.
El señor Tatton explica que esa asistencia el sábado para ahorrar o reponer una ausencia durante la semana ayuda con lo que es el dinero también. So, si su hijo está ausente durante la semana, no recibimos los fondos por ese día, pero si su hijo asiste el sábado, recuperamos esos fondos. Y es una forma de ayudar a la escuela también. Si hay demasiadas ausencias, eso es dinero que se está perdiendo y si no se recuperan las ausencias, la escuela no repone ese